Dear friends, cool welcome to all of you in your gyangarden. Why? Because the sun is already beating down mercilessly in some of the parts of our country. So cool welcome to all of you. Today we are going to discuss what kind of relationship should be there between the center and the state, particularly in view of the resurgence of the regional parties. More than in the past, nowadays regional parties are almost mushrooming. They are popping up like advertisements in the middle of the main show. I do not mean to ridicule any regional party, because ours is a country of diversity, linguistic diversity, cultural diversity, religious diversity, diversities of all kinds, and that is why the logic is that the regional parties are supposed to raise their regional aspirations, and the center is supposed to fulfill those aspirations. Actually, our country is just like a family. So many children are there, so many members are there in a family. Now there is a delicate relationship and respectable relationship of trust between the guardian and the members. And what would happen if that trust is at stake? Number one, the center is supposed not to discriminate against any state. But it is also a sad truth that some of the states may be fussy, like fussy children, touchy children, and we have seen a lot of examples in the recent past. A meeting of the Niti Aayog was convened, and some of the chief minister chose not to attend the meeting. I mean, they stayed away from the meeting. Was it not kind of defiance? Was it not disrespect towards the central leadership? Today A is in the central leadership. Tomorrow you could also be in the same place. So why set a bad precedent? That is why this relationship built on trust should be maintained. And we have a Supreme Court, our Supreme Court, and in matters of discrimination, in matters of controversy, we approach the court. And that is why it is said that Indian democracy, our country, our constitution, is federal in structure and unitary in spirit. And some people say that it is quasi-federal. It is more federal than unitary. Now, talking about this unitary and federal concept, my mind goes to our revered Sardar Patel. But for him, without him, it would not have been possible to integrate those 552 princely estates. Most of those states were ready, but some were recalcitrant. They were not willing to come with India. But thanks to his indomitable determination of Sardar Patel, and his far-sightedness, that he integrated all these princely estates and today you see what our country is, a matter of pride. Okay, at this juncture, I would like to quote Haji Kalimullah Sahab of Malihabad. He has a beautiful orchard and he is a Padma Shri awardee. His orchard is famous for mango varieties, and he remains in talk because he has grown 300 mango varieties on one single tree. Okay, how diligent and how meticulous he is. And some of the varieties are in the name of Modi also, and some are in the name of Yogi also, some in the name of Amitabh, Aishwarya and Abdul Kalam, okay, and all great personalities. So those varieties, okay, coming on different branches, from where do they draw sustenance? They draw all these branches, okay, all these varieties of mango, they draw sustenance from this very trunk, through this very trunk, okay, and from the same soil. So that is the unitary concept, unitary spirit of our constitution. Okay, so the chief ministers of the regional parties are not supposed to defy or show disrespect to the central leadership. There may be aspirations, okay, no problem, but there should not be any room for arrogance, and we have seen a lot. Okay, the Prime Minister convened a meeting, okay, and one chief minister was so defiant that she stayed away from the meeting, and not only she herself stayed away, she did not bother to send her chief secretary also to the meeting. So you can very well imagine what kind of defiance. This is arrogance. Okay, I won't like to take her name, but people know. Similarly, some of the aspirations may be to cater to the caste oriented aspirations of your people. Okay, and that is why some of the regional parties are trying to foment, to give support to caste oriented conflicts deliberately. That is also a threat to, the unitary spirit of the constitution. And if this trend is allowed to grow, what will happen? The very country may fall apart. Okay, so we have to guard against this tendency also. Then son of the soil, okay, this is the most dangerous syndrome. Some of the states do not like that people from other states, okay, come and get jobs in those states. Okay, openly they can't do it, they don't do it, but they tend to do it, and that is why time to time they come out with some legislations. That is a dangerous trend. This son of the soil syndrome, I think, is fatal to the unitary spirit of the constitution. Okay, in my opinion. Then separatism, I can't say that some regional parties openly support the separatist forces, but without mincing words, I would say that some of the regional parties, okay, are unduly soft on separatist elements. So that also is a dangerous trend, and that is against the unitary spirit of the constitution. Today actually I wanted to show to you, okay, through this picture, okay, whether too many regional parties are good or bad for our democracy, and I am coming to that. Okay, now this freebies, okay, you have seen how some of the regional parties now they have become national also, but some of the regional parties, there are still some regional parties who, you know, promise freebies and doles, you know, before the elections. How? Just to get an advantage over, you know, the mainstream, you know, national parties. So that also is a, you know, not a healthy trend, and it eats into the economy of our country. Our country, you know, is just like a big road, you know, with many lanes. Some bigger vehicles, smaller vehicles, pedestrians, okay, all are there, okay, on the same road. And, you know, the law is slightly tilted in the favor of smaller vehicles, okay. The center is supposed not to discriminate, okay, against any state, against any regional party, okay. They are supposed, the central leadership is supposed not to pamper, you know, any particular state, and not to discriminate, you know, against, you know, any other regional party, okay. That is not a good idea, that is, you know, not healthy, that is against the, you know, spirit of our constitution. Just as in an orchestra, okay, so many instruments are there, so many musicians are there, but they are guided, you know, by one main musician. And what happens when they play notes, okay, in coherence, a symphony is created. Otherwise, if everybody is blowing, you know, his or her own trumpet, what would happen? A noise will be created. So similar is the case with our, you know, democracy. And those who detract our democracy by saying that, you know, the central leadership, you know, is, you know, not taking care of the regional aspirations, okay, or is discriminatory in nature, okay. I would like to say only one thing. This is the beauty of your democracy, that in a state like Kerala, which is known to be God's own country, okay, it is being ruled by, you know, those people who do not have faith in God, who are communists. What could be a better example of, you know, peaceful existence? So it is not fair to take a dig at the center that it is discriminating against, you know, some regional parties. No, it is not true. Now the objective of this video was to, okay, drive home whether, you know, a resurgence of or the mushroomous growth of the regional parties, okay, is in the interest of our democracy or not, okay. So this picture can better explain, okay. You see, she looks beautiful, she has got a mole, one small mole here also, so she has got two moles on her face, okay. Suppose she is represents our democracy. Okay. What happens when you have a single mole or just a couple of moles on your face? Those moles enhance your beauty. But if you have many moles, or say if you have many pimples, many warts, okay, on your face, okay, how does it look? You know, it looks grotesque, it looks, ugly, and it hurts you. So here, as the moles enhance your beauty, these pimples hurt you. Similarly, some regional parties, okay, which are working in coherence with the center, okay, which are not, showing arrogance, and which are not defying or showing disrespect to the central leadership. They are just like, moles, and they enhance the beauty of our democracy. See, but some of the regional parties, are like pimples, okay, and they hurt our democracy because, they are representing, they have become the symbol of arrogance. They have been catering to, they have been pandering to, casteist aspirations. They have been pandering to, son of the soil syndrome, okay, and they have also been soft on, the separatist forces, okay, and some of them are, giving freebies and doles, okay, irrespective of any thought, about our economy. So those regional parties are just like, these pimples, and they are bound to hurt. So this was the crux of this entire discussion. So I hope you have had a nice time with me, in our gyangarden. I again request you to send your feedbacks and, to subscribe to your very own gyangarden.